And here's the masseter, folks. Here's the masseter. That big muscle in the cheek. That's the masseter. That's the masseter right there. So now, to make sure that you have it right, this is a salivary gland right there. That's a parotid gland. And the parotid gland lies right behind this big muscle, which is the masseter. That's the masseter right there.
You call it the carotid? What do you call it?
Parotid, P-A-R-O. That's the parotid gland. It's a salivary gland. So here's your masseter. Got it? I'm adding one more, which I'm going to put on the board, and that's the buccinator. So to this list, I'm adding the buccinator. So here's the buccinator. It lies in front of the masseter. The masseter is a big muscle for chewing the food. It raises and lowers the mandible for chewing, this big muscle. And lying in front of it is the buccinator. So how to remember the buccinator? Here's a smaller salivary gland, and here's the duct bringing the saliva to empty it in the mouth, and this duct pierces the buccinator. So that's how you'll get it right. This is the buccinator. So we are going to go over it again. So name the muscle. Name the muscle. Name the muscle. Name the muscle. Oculi. Orbicularis oculi. Now, name the muscle. The masseter. Here is the salivary gland. This muscle in front, that's the masseter. Name the muscle. Buccinator. Here is the duct piercing that muscle. That would be the buccinator. Now, name the muscle. What is it? Zygomaticus. Zygomaticus. Name the muscle.
Major.
Zygomaticus major. Name the muscle. Zygomaticus minor. See now, we're not perfect. The zygomatic, where here is the minor, followed by the major. The minor is in front, the major is behind. So they made a mistake there, but we're going by the size. The larger one is the zygomaticus major. The thinner one is the zygomaticus minor. Got it? So if I tag this, it's the major. If I tag this one, it's also the major. I'm not going by location, I'm going by the size. And the thinner one is the zygomaticus minor. Are we understanding? And we know where the buccinator is. Here. This pierces the buccinator. That duct pierces the buccinator. So we're sternocleidomastoid, this muscle that goes up. And here it is. You have two pieces going up. And it inserts in the mastoid process of the temporal bone. See the two pieces going up? So if I go across, I'm looking for what? The sternocleidomastoid. It goes straight up and inserted in the mastoid process of the temporal bone. So that's the sternocleidomastoid. This one also shows you the sternocleidomastoid, maybe even a little clearer. It shows you one is going to the sternum and the other one to the clavicle, goes straight up and is inserted in the mastoid process of the temporal bone. You had it on your test today. So that's the sternocleidomastoid. Now, the digastric and the mylohyoid. The digastric is a muscle that's also going to help with chewing. Never heard about it before. And the mylohyoid. See now, mylohyoid. That's telling you that it's actually inserted on the hyoid bone. Remember that hyoid bone that we studied before? So now, my job is to show you where the mylohyoid is and where the digastric. It's under the chin. It's under the chin. So these are actually V-shaped muscles. So if you have the chin like that, and so now they're actually coming up like that. So this would be a strip of muscle. Another strip of muscle that goes up, make a nice V shape. So these two are going to be the digastric muscles. They're actually in pairs. Digastric, you have a nice picture in your book. So here, this would be the digastric. So you're seeing one piece of the digastric lying on top of a muscle which is below. So underneath there's another piece of muscle. Underneath there's another piece of muscle. The one on top, superficial, that's the digastric muscle. You notice there's a flat muscle underneath it, and that's the mylohyoid. So on this side of the chin, what is taken off? Hello, hello. Let's go back over here. This is one strip of the digastric muscle lying under the chin that help to raise and lower the lower jawbone. So this is the digastric. It lies on top of this flat muscle. And that flat muscle is the mylohyoid. In this side of the chin, what is missing? Look carefully. What is missing?
The digastric.
The digastric is taken off. But what is shown there? The mylohyoid. So this is the mylohyoid without the digastric. On this side you have the digastric lying on top of the mylohyoid. They're testable muscles, they're under the chin. So I'll point those out again. Let's look on this model to see what is happening here. So again, this little piece of muscle, you're just seeing one half. So what is this muscle lying on top?
Digastric.
The digastric. And what is underneath the digastric? The mylohyoid. So again, the digastric lies on top of the mylohyoid. If you look in your book, it gives you a very nice picture of what I'm showing you. So let's repeat this and do all of those muscles, the head and the neck. I'm not adding anything to the muscles of the neck. So let's go over this again. Name the muscle. Name the muscle. Name the muscle. Orbicularis oris. You need to say everything. Orbicularis oris. Name the muscle. Oculi. Okay. Name the muscle. Go by size. Major. Minor. If I go above, zygomaticus. It hasn't split yet. Now, name the muscle. Name the muscle. So look where the duct inserts, and that would be the buccinator. Got it? So now, under the chin. Here is one half of that V-shaped muscle. Digastric. And lying below the digastric would be the, on this side you're not seeing the digastric, it's taken off, but you're seeing what? The mylohyoid. Very good. So those are the muscles. Frontalis. This lies on, we have a nice picture there too. It lies on the frontal bone. So this would be the frontalis. Lies on the frontal bone. And now we're looking for the orbicularis oris. And so that's the muscle around the lips. So orbicularis oris, circular muscles, going right around the lips. You were tested on that today. So that's the orbicularis oris. I'm pointing out right now. And now, orbicularis oculi. Again, circular muscles going around the eyes. Orbicularis oculi. See how easy they are? Orbicularis, not orbicularis, temporalis. Lying on the temporal bone. So that's a temporalis. And now we come to the zygomaticus muscles. So there are two types. You have the zygomaticus major and the zygomaticus minor. So now be careful. If I tag over here, then that would be zygomaticus. But this larger one, see it splits into two. That would be the zygomaticus major. And the thinner one is the zygomaticus minor. So your paper says zygomaticus. Come up closer and look at it. Because remember, I am telling you now, it's going to be on the test. So here, if I go here, I'm looking for zygomaticus, right? If I go on this, it splits into two. So that would be, there's a muscle going. So that would be the zygomaticus major. And the thinner one is the zygomaticus minor. So if I tag here, the time of the test, I'm expecting zygomaticus. Don't just put major, because there are many muscles that are major. Zygomaticus major, zygomaticus minor. If I go above, it's just what? Zygomaticus. Got it? Okay, so up here it splits into two. The larger one is the zygomaticus major. The thinner one is the zygomaticus minor. Got it? Yes. So up here, before it splits, would be the zygomaticus. When it splits into two, this becomes the zygomaticus major. The thinner one is the zygomaticus minor. Got it? So the trapezius muscle. Remember, the trapezius is like a trapezoid. So it starts all the way up there, and it's going to now start with this side, goes that way, and come down. Also, you'll have another piece that does the same thing. But this part, the superficial, is taken off to show you the deeper muscles. So this would be the trapezius, right? One half of the trapezius. Let's look at this one. And you notice beside it says cat has three pieces. Today, when we begin the cat after the break, you'll be able to see the three pieces in the cat. So again, here is one half of the trapezius. Other half is taken off to show you the deeper muscles. So if I tag that, I'm looking for the word what? Trapezius. If I tag this, it's also the trapezius. Now, so look, avoid the three muscles of the cat. You can see that. This is the latissimus dorsi. It's right over here for swimming, and also for boxing, jab, jab, jab. That's your latissimus dorsi. Name the muscle? Latissimus dorsi. Now we go to the supraspinatus and the infraspinatus. So now, let's take this one. This is showing you the spine of what? Of the scapula. Spine of the scapula. So above the spine, supraspinatus. Below the spine, infraspinatus. Do not go very low down here, because that's another muscle. So above it is the supraspinatus, and right in here is the infraspinatus. And now we're looking for the rhomboids. See, if you go out here, these are different muscles. So again, just for your own knowledge, not going to include it on the test. Supraspinatus, infraspinatus, they're part of what? Of the rotator cuff. Part of the rotator cuff. Supraspinatus, infraspinatus. If you go too far, this would be the teres what? Minor, and this would be the teres major, right? So you were asked today about the rotator cuff muscles. We are not going to put them on the lab test, but for your own knowledge, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, this is the teres minor, the larger one is the teres major. Now, when you take off all of this, then you can see these muscles. So here are the rhomboids. The rhomboids are right here. You're taking off the half of the trapezius to see the deeper muscles.
And that's what that is in the left.
And the rhomboids are included. These two muscles are the rhomboids. Rhomboids. So we have to divide them now. You can say rhomboids or you can say rhomboidus, as the note here says. So now, what do you think this is from there to there? By the way, this yellow line in between is called fascia, dividing the muscles into pieces. So from there to there, what do you think this muscle is? That's Let's hear it. If it's part of the rhomboid, what is it? Rhomboidus major. And this from there to there would be what? Rhomboidus minor. So this is, if I tag this, I'm expecting to get rhomboidus major. If I tag the smaller one, it's rhomboidus minor. So there's another one that goes up to the neck, not included, not going to add it on. That was the rhomboidus capitis that goes up to the neck. Just work on what is on the list. Do not overload yourself, right? So you're responsible for the rhomboidus major and the rhomboidus minor. Got it? Let's see whether I'm going to add anything else on there. Yes, I do add one muscle on there, and that is the muscle under the scapula. And you can actually guess it. Here's the scapula. Here's the scapula. So if you go above the scapula, you're getting what? Supraspinatus. If you go below, right? And if you go under the scapula, subscapularis. That's a testicle muscle, so I'm going to put it on the board. Very easy. It lies under the scapula, so that becomes the subscapularis. So you need to add the word subscapularis. It lies under the scapula. So let's review those and see. We still have time. We have, before you get your break, it shows you also the rhomboid, the two pieces of rhomboid. Name the muscle. Pectoralis major. Pectoralis major. That's the muscle. Pectoralis major. I will also show you the parts, the muscles that are testicle. So name the muscle by itself. What's the name of the muscle by itself? Pectoralis major. Get acquainted with it so that it's not necessarily it's going to be there. It can be by itself. Pectoralis major. Should be able to recognize it. Name the muscle. Pectoralis major, with the breast sitting on top. That's where the breast is. It sits on top of the pectoralis major. Get acquainted with it. Pectoralis major, and you have a portion of the breast sitting on top. Okay, so now the serratus anterior. Serratus. It's a serrated muscle under the armpit. So here it is. Under the armpit, serratus anterior. Under the armpit. Now, you notice there's a note beside it. When we're dealing with a cat, it's not called serratus anterior, it's called a serratus ventralis. So if I showed you under the cat, again it shows you that it's a serrated muscle. The yellow in between is the fascia that separates the muscle. It lies under the armpit, called the serratus anterior in humans, serratus ventralis in the cat. You're seeing also the serratus anterior right there. So when we put this together, you can see very clearly. It's serrated muscle that lies under the armpit. Okay, the next one is the pectoralis minor. So now we have to be careful. Pectoralis minor, and here is the best model that shows the minor. When you go too far down, you're in the serratus anterior. So these muscles here that I'm pointing out would be the serratus anterior. These four muscles are the pectoralis minor. How do you see the minor? You have to lift this off. You have to take off the major to see the minor. So look carefully now. 1, 2, 3, 4 strips of muscle go together and go into one tendon that's inserted in the humerus. So that's the pectoralis minor. If I go here, it is not the pectoralis minor. We follow it. It would be what? Serratus anterior. So you have to count them. And this is the best model. This one doesn't show it that well. So this is the one I usually use. 1. The blue is the tendon, by the way. The pink, the red is the muscle. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Go up and go into one tendon to get to the humerus. That's the pectoralis minor. We understand? That's the pectoralis minor. Now, the pectoantebrachialis, humans do not have that. So here might be a card question. True or false? Pectoantebrachialis is found in the humans. It would be what? False. Only the cat. And now the external intercostal and the internal intercostal. So those again are on the model. Those are on the model. So now we can take this off. So again, you need to come closer so that you can be convinced. I always say seeing is believing. You have to see it so that you can believe. So again, this is a model question. You're now looking at the rib cage, and you have the external, remember the muscles in between the ribs. These are the costal ribs. These are the ribs. In between the ribs are called the intercostal muscles, but you have two types. You have one that is exterior and one that is interior. So external intercostal and internal intercostal. How do we differentiate them? Look carefully now. These are the intercostal muscles. This one is the internal, that's internal, that's internal. But you notice that there's a little piece here running in an opposite direction. So that would be the external intercostal. Agreed?
Okay.
And below it would be the internal intercostal. Question?
No, absolutely.
So now, let's move down here. You're not seeing any of the external over here. What are we seeing? Internal intercostal. But when we get here, you're seeing a little piece. So if I tag here, that would be what? External intercostal, and this would be internal. External intercostal, internal intercostal. External, internal. External, internal. Got it? And if I do this, what are we seeing here? All would be what? Internal. No more external. So again, it must be on the test to make sure that you are actually seeing it and believing it. Internal intercostal, external, external intercostal, external, external, internal. When you turn inside, it's all will be what? Internal intercostal. And sheet of muscle that separates the chest from the abdomen. Diaphragm. See, the red part represents the muscle. This is a diaphragm that separates the chest from the abdomen. So this is a diaphragm, showing you a big hole where the esophagus is going to go through, and another one where the aorta. So this is a diaphragm. So as we tag it down here, that's where the muscle is. That's the diaphragm. And so we have a big diaphragm, and we have also a smaller diaphragm. Maybe a kid. So here's another model of the diaphragm also. So you notice we are finished with the muscles of the anterior thorax and muscles of the posterior thorax. So two terms that is not. It's a band of connective tissue that runs from here and goes straight down to the pubic symphysis to divide the body in half. So that's the linea alba. So the linea alba, let's see where it is. It's on your... It's under abdominal muscles, so we'll come to that. What? The raphe. So let's show you the raphe. So the word raphe is not on your list, so we'll put that on now. Doing around. So the raphe is a band of connective tissue that goes from the nape of the neck and goes straight down to the buttocks. So that's called the raphe. Divides the body again, the posterior portion, in two. So here is the raphe. That extends nape, center nape, nape of the neck to the glutes. The linea alba is on the opposite side. The linea alba runs now on the frontal side. So the linea and then we start to pack up.
Sounds good.
Is your acromio. Remember, this goes there, it goes all the way, so where the white face is up there, that's where it stops. All of that is the spinal trapezius, the acromio trapezius, then the
3 muscles. Deltoid, gluteus. This is the gluteus maximus.
and then you put the tie.
Deltoid.
Okay, so